Hello everyone, this is Brett and welcome to this special edition of Friday on the Turntable. This is the next video in my album ranking series, and as you can tell by the title, today I'm going to be ranking the studio catalog of the band New Order. So for those of you familiar with New Order, they were formed in 1980, very shortly after the singer of Joy Division, Ian Curtis, committed suicide. The three remaining members went on to form New Order, and they took in drummer Stephen Morris's girlfriend at the time, Jillian Gilbert, on keyboards. They became New Order, put out their first album in 1981. I'm going to be looking at 8 studio albums, so I'm going to be ranking 1981's debut, Movement, all the way to 2005's Waiting for the Sirens Call. Now, they did put out some leftover tracks that were recorded during Waiting for the Sirens Call called Lost Sirens. I'm not going to be looking at that one. So just those 8 records ranked from number 8 all the way to number 1. Like a lot of UK bands of their time, they have a lot of non-album singles, so there's a lot of great songs like Ceremony, Everything's Gone Green, Blue Monday, Temptation, True Faith, that never appeared on the studio albums. Those were collected on various singles or the Substance collection. So if you want to see a list of my absolute favorite New Order songs, regardless of whatever format they appeared on, I'm going to have a link below to that, as well as I go through each album, I'm going to list 3 of my favorite songs from each of those albums, and there will be a separate playlist for those as well, so you can get a good a starter on New Order if you're unfamiliar, or if you are a New Order fan, you can check out a different choice from someone else. So those links will be below in the description box. Please keep in mind, I do this for fun. These are all my choices, so your opinions into my choices were not considered. So if you'd like to share your own list, please do so in the comments section below. Let's get started. All right, so at number 8, this one's hard to put at number 8 because it opens up with one of my absolute favorite New Order songs, probably my second favorite New Order song, and one of my favorite songs of all time. That song being Regret. This is 1993's Republic. It starts off with a real bang. The first 3 songs are great. 4th song, okay, and after that, I think it just loses inspiration, and it just feels a bit uninspired. Maybe the production is too slick. But coincidentally, it was their highest charting album in the United States. It charted at number 11. It was their highest position here. Track 9, Times Change. The vocals kind of sound like EMF's Unbelievable. If you re-listen to that and tell me if you agree with that or not. So my 3 favorite songs from Republic are Regret, obviously, Ruined in a Day, and World. The bonus 4th song would be Avalanche, which is the instrumental on it. So yeah, that's number 8, Republic. Coming in at number 7 was the band's 7th album. This is 2001's Get Ready. It came out a whole 8 years after its previous album, Republic, which I just discussed. I really like the sound and the production of this album, and coming in at number 7 does not mean by any means it's a dud of an album. 3 favorite tracks: opening song Crystal, 60 Miles an Hour, and the track Turn My Way, which features Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins on backing vocals. 2005's Waiting for the Sirens Call. This is the only New Order album to not feature Jillian Gilbert on it. My 3 favorite songs: the title track, Waiting for the Sirens Call. I think it's an incredible New Order song. I think it ranks number 15 on my list. That just quintessential Peter Hook bass line, instantly catchy, just a great song. Second favorite is Turn, acoustic guitar driven. It has this guitar break after the chorus that really reminds me of REM. And my 3rd favorite song is Crafty. And at number 5 is the band's 4th album. This is 1986's Brotherhood. Now, like a lot of bass guitar-driven bands, one that immediately comes to mind, Jane's Addiction and their bass player Eric Avery. When you listen to all of these albums in succession, you really get just a massive hit with how important the bass lines are of Peter Hook. His high register bass, he's not a typical bass player by any means, where most bass players focus on the lower range of the instrument. Peter Hook favors the higher range, super melodic bass line. There's all these little counter melodies that go on besides the vocal melody, it's just brilliant, and it's all over all these albums. And sometimes you're not even aware that that's a bass playing. A lot of people probably think it's a guitar, but he weaves it, the bass lines in and out just so brilliantly. Bizarre Love Triangle, that was a huge single. That's my favorite song from this album. Also have All Day Long, just beautiful melodic piece there. And track Weirdo. Coming in at number 4 is the band's third LP. This is 1985's Low Life. My 3 favorite songs from this one: Love Vigilantes. Number 2 is the instrumental Elysia. Now, back in 2008, the first 5 New Order albums were reissued on compact disc as collector's editions, and they each contained a second CD with B-sides and instrumentals and various remixes of the songs. And there's a 17.5-minute version of Elysia. So if you're looking for more New Order stuff and you're not aware of those 2008 collector's editions are definitely well worth grabbing. And my 3rd favorite song is Face Up. All right, so we're in the top 3 now. With that being said, I think depending on the time of the year, any of these 3 albums could be interchangeable for their position for me. But as of right now, I'm going to go with 1983's Power, Corruption, and Lies, the band's second album, as my number 3 choice. This, to me, is where Bernard Sumner's vocals, he really found his own voice, and the band's sound really progressed, and they really found their own sound post Joy Division. 3 favorite songs on this one: Age of Consent, The Village, and I'm going to give 2 for my number 3rd place: Your Silent Face, great track, and Leave Me Alone. So released a year and a half after the death of Ian Curtis was New Order's debut album. This is 1981's Movement, and this is my 2nd favorite New Order album today. What I really love about Movement is how you still hear glimpses of Joy Division's sound. It was produced by Martin Hannett, who recorded and produced Joy Division's Unknown Pleasures and Closer album. So you really get the sound of Joy Division, but you also get hints of what New Order would become. My 3 favorite songs on this album, 2 of them are sung by Peter Hook, because the band was still trying to find an identity as to who is going to become the lead singer. So, even when you hear his vocals, you hear Bernard Sumner's vocals, they still almost sound like Ian Curtis singing. So Dreams Never End, the opening track, Peter Hook on vocals, my absolute favorite from this one. The Hymn, which is just haunting. It has this section where you think the song's ending, and then it comes back in. There's this galloping bass line, and you have Bernard Sumner's just signature, just choppy guitar rhythm playing. And 3rd favorite song is Doubts Even Here, which also features Peter Hook on vocals. So I guess up until I did this ranking, I never really identified having a favorite New Order album. Whenever people would ask me for recommendations as where to start, I'd always kind of push them towards singles collections, Best of New Order or Substance, because their singles are so strong. And as I mentioned in the introduction, there's not a lot of those great singles were never on any of their albums. So like a song like Ceremony or In a Lonely Place are absent from any of those albums, and Ceremony is actually my absolute favorite New Order song. Ceremony and In a Lonely Place were also written during the Joy Division days, so they feature, the lyrics were written by Ian Curtis and the vocal melodies, and then they were re-recorded by New Order as their first single. So without further ado, my number 1 choice, Technique, 1989, their 5th album. Just a perfect blend of their post-punk sounds mixed with electronics. 3 favorite songs: Run, just incredible. The guitar breaks on that, whenever I hear it, it just gives me just goosebumps. There's just a brilliant production technique they also use later on in the song, where they start to strip the instruments out, and they slowly remove each part of the drums, and all that's left at one point is the keyboards and the hi-hat, and then they do it twice, and it's just such a brilliant technique. So Run, top 3 New Order song for me. Vanishing Point, also excellent, and All the Way. Technique. So thank you all for watching. Be sure to check out those links down below. The New Order story hasn't ended yet. The band did sign with Mute Records in September of 2014, and they're promising a new record in the fall of 2015. Sadly, it will not include Peter Hook, who has left the band and is touring his own Peter Hook and the Light, where he recreates Joy Division and New Order albums on tour all over the world. Please share me your own list in the comments section below. Try to keep it positive, guys. Remember, none of our lists are right, none of them are wrong. We do this all for fun, just to kind of go over choices and share our opinions on these various albums. So there's also links for my Facebook, Twitter, everything, so please subscribe to those. And if you're interested in checking out New Order, those playlists will be also linked down below, where you can purchase any of these albums. So guys, thank you for watching. Talk to you soon.